Ladies and gentlemen, this is a work session for the Board of Commissioners, May the 4th, 2017. Items for discussion, of course, is the number one on the item here is request to revise attendance ordinance. We have looked at it. The county attorney has looked at it, and it's in regard to. You want to give us you want me to read this whole thing? It's what the magistrate court, along with the school system, wants us to revise the attendance 42-3.4, the school attendance requirement, parental responsibility, that for the magistrate courts. Everything in red is what, of course, what they would like us to go ahead and put in the ordinances to go along with what's already there to clarify some issues. You got anything you want to say on it?
Some of these are basically just revisions that through experience we decided need to be there. Some of these are at the request of the school system to help them and some of the challenges they face in enrollment.
I've looked at it, and I didn't see any red flags that popped up on it. Anybody got any questions while we got everybody together on that particular item? You're fine?
Okay.
Okay. All right, that moves us to item number 2 under text amendment on the solid waste. We have talked about solid waste till we have talked about solid waste. I think we all know all the ifs, ands, and buts, and we've had quite a few more individuals that have come by and talked about solid waste. Got some that are for changing the amendment, text amendment, and we got some that do not want to change the text amendment. So, of course, that is in the work session. Any further discussion over that? It was tabled at the last county meeting for revision. Other than the fact that, as just a quickie, is the fact that text amendment there, some of them want us to change it to where they have to build some sort of structure around the dumpster for either the look of the area or the ability for trash to be blowed around. We've got to, and of course, I think the biggest drawback I think we've got is they make some of that part is they want to make it retroactive. So that is something that we will have to take a look at next few weeks to see exactly if that's what this commission board wants to do to that point. Any other statements in regard to the solid waste?
Will we be voting on that this month, at this next meeting?
We can, or we can table it again.
So our three options are to do nothing, or to make it retroactive,
Or to
just put it in effect from
or
here
from
forward.
here forward. That's correct. That is correct. Jerry, got anything you need to know? All right. And then it brings us down to the new lease for the Horseshoe section of the airport. I can get my tongue over my tooth. Phil, you want to comment on anything on that one, other than the fact that the lease has been pretty well? You've all got the lease worked out.
I thought we had action last time we all approved it. Y'all approved delegating to the development authority the authority to lease any of the property. Because some of the properties in your name, some of the properties in their name.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to be consistent in our leases, and we're going to have the development authority be the landlord.
Okay.
They'll eventually assign those leases more likely to the airport authority, but until that debt's paid, this will stay in the development authority.
Correct. Correct. Any other comment on item number 3? I know it's kind of a short work session.
Yeah, we've got one tenant that's we're signing a lease on now, and we've got at least 2 waiting in the wings, so it looks pretty positive, I think.
What is the company that we have the lease on currently?
The Atlantic Coast Conservancy. It's a local company. Their business focuses on the conservation of land, but they have land throughout the South in Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and so some of that is flight based as far as.
And also, on a side note, we were notified, this is not on the agenda, we were just notified late yesterday afternoon. And this is going to the mayor. It comes from the Department of Transportation under state bridge inspections. John Weaver of your county was verbally advised on May 2nd, 2017 by Byron Patterson, Regional Bridge Inspection Specialist. The structure is in critical condition and requires immediate closing. This letter will serve as a written notification that this structure is no longer safe for live vehicular loading. In accordance with the standards set forth in federal regulations, this structure should be closed until repairs or replacement can be made. The structure that they're talking about is the wood bridge itself. This structure requires immediate closing due to severe deterioration of the abutment caps. For additional information, call or for repair recommendations, Commissioner Bennett. Please note that all structures requiring closing must be properly closed in accordance with the attached method. Failure to properly close this structure will result in your county being reported as non-compliant. This unit is in the city, as all of us know, is the Wood Bridge over the railroad tracks that are going to Woodbridge Inn. In addition, advanced warning signs, barricades should be used. Did y'all get a copy of this? I don't have a major copy of this letter. We just did get it yesterday evening.
I think it would be great if they made that a walking bridge.
I think what I've heard, scuttlebutt, is that's what the city council is looking at, is making it a walking bridge.
Good.
This time. I think the last time it was, when they went through this, I think the Industrial Authority of Pickens County back in 2007, as well as Pickens County government at that time, agreed to help pay for the upgrade of that structure at that time. I don't know, but it is the closing. We have been notified that it is the closing of the Wood Bridge by the DOT.
I have a comment, not about that, but I would just like to compliment Richard Osborne for the joint comprehensive meeting that I attended. It went really well, and we appreciate you. Do you have anything you'd like to say on that, how you think it went and everything?
What I'm going to do today is send a follow-up email. I didn't know if we were going to have 15, 30 people, something like that. We ended up having about 45 people, which is great. We want to make sure we have folks from all over the county, and so we're really going to try to reach out, especially to folks around Talking Rock, around the west side of the county. We know already we've got good participation from the east side of the county and Jasper, but working with the state, we've got to have Nelson, all the areas of the county, Talking Rock, Jasper. I mean, we've got to have everybody involved. And as I said in the meeting, although it's state required, I mean, this cannot be a state plan. It's got to be a community plan with community input, not from me as a staff member, but from our folks who live in Pickens County, own property, do business in one way or the other in the county. They're all stakeholders who have a right to give input, and so I'll be glad to talk to anybody over the phone, meet face to face. We are going to have a stakeholders committee where the elected officials, y'all as Board of Commissioners, will appoint a certain number of people to represent the county. City of Jasper, the mayor and city council will appoint a certain number of people to serve on that stakeholders committee. I don't know if Nelson and Talking Rock will officially appoint folks to that committee, or if y'all will need to, in their place, sort of, recommend some people who have an interest in Talking Rock and Nelson, because it may be a little tougher to get an official recommendation from those elected bodies. But one way or the other, there will be an official stakeholders committee to have meetings and give official input into the plan, because that's required by the state of Georgia. However, if there's 20 people on that committee, I don't want to just hear from those 20 people. I want to hear from anybody and everybody. So I'm going to follow up with folks who I already know of who are interested. I'd love to get information about anybody who wants to be on the list, and I'll be following up with the Big Canoe newspaper, Pickens Progress, No Pickens, and any other media outlets to make them aware of basically this year-long process. Even though it was a kickoff meeting Tuesday, that's not the end, and that's not the end of the input. The input will be received really throughout the rest of the year. A draft of it will be completed early next year. That draft will be out for public review and public input, and then it'll be finalized kind of late spring, early summer next year. All incorporated bodies have to formally adopt the plan. So, it really needs to be reasonable and appropriate to the elected officials of the county, the elected officials of the city of Jasper, the town of Talking Rock, the city of Nelson, and then the state will keep the approved plan in their records, the Department of Community Affairs. So we've got a good guy named Ethan Calhoun, who he's fairly local. He's a Murray High grad, and his office is out of Rome, who works for Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. And Ethan has recently been involved in the comprehensive plans for Haralson County and a couple other counties in the 15-county area that the Rome office serves. So hopefully, because he's not somebody who's coming from Tifton who has no idea whatsoever about Pickens County, he is fairly knowledgeable about Pickens County, but he's just the state coordinator. So again, this has to be a community plan, and I really do, Ms. Denny, appreciate you being there, and it's going to be a good process.
Good, thank you.
And if I may interject, this comp plan, all communities have to do a comp plan in order to be able to receive grants and funding from the state government. Now, that being said, Richard, you talked about, may I make a suggestion? In the past, when these comp plans were put together, I know the question had come up, who's going to sit on these committees, who's not going to sit on these committees. What has happened in the past is anybody that signed up that night with the sign-in sheet, congratulations, they were on that committee. That's normally what has happened in the past. We don't want to restrict anybody from sitting on these committees. Granted, we don't need 200 people, and we'll have to, probably have to weed it down to certain areas, or for communities such as Bent Tree, Big Canoe, those areas want to send representatives to that point to have some input as we go forward. That's just a suggestion. It doesn't have to be done that way. But in the past, normally if you happen to come in on the kickoff meeting and you put your name on the list, normally you've got an email address as well as a phone number to contact these individuals. They are welcome to serve on these boards. So that's normally has been done in the past. I'm going to leave it up to my other two constituents right here to the fact that I don't think we need to go out and be contacting everybody in Pickens County who wants to sit on the board, who don't want to sit on the board. I don't want to put anybody on the board that doesn't want to sit on the board, don't have time to sit on the board. So as long as they come out and want to participate, I think they ought to have an opportunity to do so. And that's my input. I'm just going to leave it up to you individuals to see exactly how y'all want to do it.
Yes, sir. The follow-up is going to be that I'm going to send out, because not just the 45 people who are at the meeting, but there's probably about 60 or 65 people who have let me know that they're interested in the plan. Not necessarily that they want to attend monthly meetings, but they're interested in the plan. So I'll send out information to those 65 people and say, hey, be looking for an application form where if you're interested in being actually on the committee and want to attend monthly or every 6 weeks meetings and give more in-depth input than somebody who's just generally interested, then sign up, let us know, so that because we can't have a 65-member committee. You know, it's got to be manageable. But again, you know, even if somebody can't make meetings but still wants to give input, yes, sir, you know, I want to get everything I
And
can.
if we have to, I think, you know, if this room is actually too small or needs to spread out, we got the Pickens room downstairs, we can move the overall process to the room downstairs, and that we've got a kitchenette, somebody can get a drink, whatever. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. If y'all got any other suggestions, it's hard enough to get people to sit on committees to begin with, and I know how it's worked in the past. Any other questions or comments? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have
Can
to.
I ask one question real quick?
Sure.
Phil, on our lease at the airport, is it like for a single hangar and a single plane, or?
You had sent me a question earlier this week, I didn't get back to you about basically leaving the tax parcel, the entirety of that Horseshoe and the development authority's name for property tax purposes. And that's either way, either, I'd like for it either to all be in the county's name. It'll eventually all be in the county's name. There'll be a master lease for all of that back to the development authority, and the development authority will lease it to the separate tenants. Now, the parcels, though, are going to be determined by individual surveys that we'll file with you, because it's not like a traditional subdivision where you have lots laid out. It'll be a square footage lease. The engineer will measure off what they need for their particular building, and then that lease, probably put a memorandum of lease in the deed records, but we'll certainly need to file that plat with you, even though I think you and I talked about whether or not the use for it's going to be taxed. I think we've said no, but that way you would know who those responsible tenants were at the very least. But I'll get with as soon as we've not gotten to the surveying part of it, and the development authority's authorized it, but we haven't actually put pen to, the lease has been drafted. I just don't have the chairman or vice chairman's signature on it yet. But we will.
Yes.
The staff that's here, have we got anything else we need to discuss before we go on? We're going to have to go into executive session. Y'all have any other topic that I'm not aware of?
We've got a water contract, online bill payment I've been trying to get with. The vendor brought by some additional information yesterday, and I'm still getting through that.
Okay.
So hopefully on your you'll need to take action on that. You can't take action in the work session.
And Mr. Nicholson in the road department has put out for bids the road paving contract, that the roads that the county are not going to get done, but they're going to sub out. That contract has went out, I think it went into the paper this week, didn't it,
They
John?
went out last Thursday.
Last Thursday. So it's going to run for 4 weeks. How many entities have you had to apply, pick up a?
3 so far have picked up the bid packages.
All right. Curtis? Richard, anything else? Good. Hey, Miss Wiggins, how are you doing back there?
Good, how are you?
How's 4-H doing, County Extension Office?
It's good. We're competing at the Oglethorpe County Poultry Judging Competition today.
Good, beautiful sunny day to have to be doing that. But, Roy, you got anything else? Ladies back there in the back?
I'm just following up on the online bill pay.
Okay. Miss Deborah?
Not a thing.
This is it for me.
This is her last work session unless she comes as an independent citizen.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, she is going to be missed. But if we don't have anything else, let me get into the executive session here. The undersigned chair, I'm sorry.
Close your work session. Adjourn the work session.
Well, we can.
You open.
Yeah, 'cause this is a call meeting.
Oh, okay.
You're
Oh,
in a call meeting.
okay.
Go to a call meeting.
All right. At this time, we're going to close this work session at that time. All right. Now, I'm going to go into executive session.
You've got to approve the check.
Okay.
Call that meeting, call meeting to order.
All right, at this time, we're going to do the call meeting to order, and as we do, we got 5 items, got to call the meeting to order, approve the agenda. Make a move, I need a move and a second to approve the agenda.
Second.
Move and a second, any further discussion? None being all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
Not opposed, thank you, that has been approved. The undersigned chair and board members under oath certify that the meeting of the Pickens County Board of Commissioners held on 5/4/17, the meeting was closed as permitted by the Open Meetings Act of Georgia. The only matters considered or discussed during the closed portion of the executive session of this meeting are as below. To consult and meet with legal counsel pertaining to pending or potential litigation, settlements, claims, administrative proceedings, or other, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the county or an officer or employee, or in which the officer or employee may be directly involved. That's under OCGA 50-14-21.
And so the motion before you is to go, by Robert, is to go in executive session for that purpose.
That's correct. That's the motion before. Do we need to vote on that again? Need to move a second to vote on that.
Robert's moved, who made the second?
Becky did.
Okay.
There's been a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. That has been approved.
We leave now.
Absolutely. Roy, you walk around the outside. We will be coming.